today on Left Off the Map, we continue our little foodie crawl through Launceston. Henry and Bianca are heading off to a really great modern beer bar and a new cafe in Launceston called Sweet Brew. So before we get into that, 3 cheese tortellini. Again, my kids love this one. This is sort of the tortellini is all done for you. So you don't have to worry about that. It's about what do you pair, what sort of sauce do you have with it. And I'm going to do one of the most classic Italian sauces you can think of. Olive oil, lemon, chilli and garlic. So it couldn't get any simpler than that. And if I was in Italy, I would be applauded for that. The pasta water is going to be important here to sort of emulsify, or not emulsify, to stick things together and thicken them up. So I'll get my pasta on first. So there's enough here to serve 4. So you can see they're the little tortellinis all done. And they're a dehydrated product like all pasta is. It means the cheese on the inside is dehydrated and the pasta is dehydrated. So again, it's important to season your pasta water. Very important to season your pasta water because you're also going to be seasoning the cheese that's inside the tortellini. So pasta water seasoned, tortellini in. The best way to tell with these if they're cooked is they'll sink. So they're floating in the beginning because it's dehydrated. When they take on all that water, when they rehydrate, they'll sink. So keep an eye on them. It says about 12 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes, but just keep an eye. Once they start to submerge, you know they're cooked. To go with that, lots of olive oil. This is an olive oil based sauce. So I want enough olive oil to cover my pan. So it's a decent amount. It's probably 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. And I'm gently going to heat this. So really low heat, very, very gentle. Slice my garlic thinly, slice my chilli and pop that in. I'm almost just infusing the oil, not so much cooking the chilli. It'll be on a really low heat. Infuse that oil with those 2 flavours. Lemon juice to finish it off at the end. And like I said, the pasta water is very, very important because that transfer of starch will help sort of stick and bind everything together. So you can see how I haven't put any colour whatsoever on my garlic or my chilli. I didn't want that. I just wanted to infuse that oil, which is what I've done. And I will just soften that garlic and that chilli up, which is perfect. My pasta is, I can turn that off actually, that's done. So once that sort of stops boiling, you'll be able to see that's puffed up quite a bit. So I'm going to transfer my oil and my chilli into this bowl. And then I'm going to spoon my pasta straight into the bowl. That way I'm going to be taking a decent amount of that pasta water with it. Now there is so much flavour already in this well-seasoned cheese because we added lots of salt to our pasta water. That olive oil, chilli, garlic and a little squeeze of lemon juice that we're going to put on there is enough just to complement the cheese that's there. And that's why I said this, it's so important to make sure you season that pasta water. All right, so we'll give that a stir. Don't want a lot of lemon juice. Just want a tiny little squeeze. You could just, if you wanted to, you could just put lemon zest in there. You could get a microplane and just pop some lemon zest in to give you that lemon flavour. But because there is so much oil in there, and oil is not as bad as butter, but it can be quite rich, obviously, it's oil. So this will just help break through that just a little bit. So a little bit of lemon juice, another hit of salt, so that we're seasoned inside and outside the pasta. Toss that around again. So you can see that garlic and that chilli, it almost looks fresh. Doesn't even look like it's been cooked, which is perfect. Just want to try some of that and make sure that I do have enough salt. I've got enough lemon juice. So, and that my pasta's cooked, obviously. Oh, yum. That is so simple, but so good, like all good Italian dishes are. Last thing I'm going to do, plate it up. Oh, actually, I might grab some parsley and I'll shred some parsley and pop that through there as well, and then we'll plate it up.
So Henry, we are at Sweet Brew, which has arguably the best coffee in Launceston. And Arch, who's one of the owners, has organised us a very special dish, which is one of their specialties. So
is it the oven cakes?
I think so.
Everyone keeps talking about
Yeah.
them. I don't even know what an oven cake is.
Well, I think it's like a pancake. I haven't had it before,
Pancake.
so...
You know when people are like, they're like, oh, go and get the oven cakes. And then because I'm meant to know about food, I'm like, oh yeah, oven cakes sound good.
Just
I don't-
go with it.
But I don't know what it is.
Well, let's go check it out.
Cool. Bianca. So an oven cake,
Yes,
a turmeric oven cake.
so good.
I loved it, obviously, but I still don't quite know what it is.
I guess it's like a cross between a cake and a pancake
Yeah.
done in the oven. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
Not too sweet too with the
pancake
turmeric.
cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And how great for coffee.
Well, that's the other thing. That was absolutely delicious. I make a lot of my own coffee now, and I get a bit of a, you know, one of those guys. Like, oh, don't drink bad coffee. And
You're a bit
this
of a coffee snob.
This is so good. I think I might need to get. Do they sell their beans here?
They do.
Yeah, I think I'll get some beans for
Yeah,
my home. I
fantastic.
don't think I'm going to make it as well as these guys. They've got some lovely latte art. I
think
wish
they've
I
got
could
some-
do the latte art. That's what I want to be able to.
Can work towards that.
Oh, imagine how you could just show off to guests. You could though, couldn't you? You can do latte art.
Mine
Oh,
are
that's
okay.
That's a
I wouldn't
not-
say that it's amazing.
Yeah, that's you being modest. I bet you're good at it. Well, who have I got? I need some lessons. Should I ask them?
I reckon they could.
Get some latte art lessons from these guys. Get it from the best. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm going to stop dribbling. Thank you for bringing
That's okay.
bringing me here.
No, it's great.
What are we going to do?
Well, we're going to finish off our very great day, a very foodie day, a very filling day.
It's been a foodie day. We've
with
done
a-
some walking though. We've walked the whole way around town. So
True.
that's what. Although we haven't walked far, I think the calories are going to outweigh the. Yeah.
Nothing's very far in Launceston, is it?
No, it's not. It's
No.
not. Sorry, I
so we're
interrupted again.
we're going to head to St John
St John.
for a beer.
Oh, lovely. Yep. I haven't been to St John. Heard all about it. Tried to get in once or twice. It was too busy. So that'll be nice.
It's not far, so we should head off
Yeah.
soon.
And you know everyone. And if it's full, you can just pull a few strings and
That's
go.
right.
I know the owner. Like, let us in, guys. Yeah. All right. We'll finish our coffee and head off.
Let's do
I
it.
think the caffeine. Sorry, I do apologise. I apologise to everyone. The caffeine might be getting to me
I
a little
think
bit.
so.
Yeah.
We've had a few, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had a few. I'm getting. Yeah. I'm a bit worried for myself. I'm also.
The beer might level you out.
I think so. The words are coming out. There's no filter left. Beer's meant to do that, not coffee. I don't know what's going on. Cheers.
Cheers.
Maybe more will help.
Henry, we're finally at St John. I cannot believe you've never been here before.
I know. Well, how long's it been running?
Quite a few years.
See, I would have said maybe a year or two.
No, I reckon 5+.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just in the garden too much. Don't get out. It's not good, is it?
So we've got an amazing selection of craft beer here.
Craft beers.
But not only beer, gin, really great wines.
Yep.
And they've also got a kitchen that do some really great food that goes really well with beer.
Beer.
Not that we need anything to eat, so I think we're just going to have a drink.
Beer might calm me down after all the caffeine.
I think that would be
Caffeine and
good.
alcohol, just mix things up, just level me out a bit.
Yep.
I'm a bit of a Bogues draft man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit the same,
Yeah.
but I'm sure they'll have something in here for us.
Bit crafty. Okay.
Yep, let's go.
All right, cool.
So, Henry, how was your first experience at St John?
It's a pretty cool place.
Yes.
Well, it's a very cool place. Craft beers, though, I tried a lot.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's the beer talking, but they're so much they're so fruity and they're rich. I was having it's like having eggs with too much butter. That's how. And it's good for a few sips, and then I'm like, oh, it's too much.
Yeah.
That's why I like my simple sort of beers. I know, some of them they're just it's too much for me. But
they had a couple of really great options to suit that style drinker.
We eventually found one.
We did.
We eventually found a draft for me, so that was good. What about you? How did you?
Yeah, I love it because I don't love craft beer, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I think they've got still a range that can suit most tastes.
Yeah, it's good. And I've got no idea. I'm not a big drinker, but I've got no idea about, drafts, IPAs, Pacific ales, lagers. It's good to get a bit of an education from you, actually, about what's what. So now I can actually pretend to know what I'm talking about.
You're a beer connoisseur now.
Beer connoisseur now. That's
Fantastic.
great. Well, thanks for taking me around. It's it's just nice just to have a day pottering around.
Yeah.
I had a cracking day. Your place was amazing. It just fits in with Tassie and that sort of opulent first class sort of mystical feel.
That's
so
very
I had a great time and the food was fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
and thanks for showing me around all your favourite haunts.
That's okay. I mean, I love the sushi train, Cosatene.
Cosatene.
It's fantastic. Such great, fresh, amazing produce there.
Yeah.
And then coffee and cake at Sweet Brew.
More coffee. Yep. Overloaded with coffee. Beautiful. And to finish with a beer is the way to go. So
Great day.
We'll have to do it again sometime.
We should.
What a cool little tour through Launceston, and good to have someone like Bianca who knows it so well, a hometown girl, sort of show. And Henry lives just outside of Launceston anyway, so knows it quite well. Good to have Bianca show us around Launceston and all the places she likes to go. So a bit of a locavore knowledge of Launceston. To finish off, we're going to make a sort of a mixed mushroom pasta. So we've got a couple of different, well, 3 different types of mushrooms here. We've got button mushrooms, field mushrooms, and shiitake mushrooms, or Swiss browns, these are also called, and shiitake. So I'm going to chop them up, and they're going to be the base of my vegetarian pasta. This linguine takes 8 minutes to cook. So it's going to put me on the clock. So I'm going to put the pasta in first and then start cooking from there. Now, with all pasta, as I've said many, many, many times, you're probably so sick of me saying it, so I'm not going to say it this time. Pasta in, linguine, 8 minutes, big handful of salt. And we'll get started. Mushrooms, I'm going to chop these up. And if you have different size pieces of mushroom, because it'll give you more texture. So with the shiitakes, we can just sort of quarter them. Button mushrooms, we'll just chop in half. They're smaller. Our big Swiss browns, I'm going to slice. They're done. I need a pan. Under the gas, mushrooms in. Now most of the time, most of that 8-minute cooking time that we've got with our pasta is going to be used up by the mushrooms. So I'm going to cook these for probably 7 of the 8 minutes that I've got cooking time with that pasta. I'm going to pop a little bit of garlic in with my mushrooms. And then I'm going to let that cook for 7 minutes. After 7 minutes, that volume will have halved, and then I can add my wine and my cream, my herbs, and start bringing everything together. Like I've done in the past with making these pastas, I'm not going to make the pasta in the pan. I'm going to put it into a bowl, which makes it easier to toss and take some of that pasta water with it. My mushrooms have cooked down how I want them. I've added a little bit of white wine, about 150 mils of white wine, and I've reduced that right down. So I'm going to add my cream now. I don't want a lot of cream, probably 3/4 of a cup of cream. Just going to let that bubble away for the last minute that our pasta is cooking. So I won't turn the heat down, I'll let that keep going. And now it's time for my herbs. So basil, parsley, and some thyme. Thyme can go straight in. I just want the delicate leaves of the thyme. So you just hold on to the sprig and run your fingers against the leaves. They'll come off and pop them in. Roll up my mixture of herbs. All that can go in. Now I can turn the heat off. So that can go off. My pasta can turn off as well. Give that a little stir. So now it's time to bring everything together. So that sauce, the herbs need to go in right at the end. Otherwise, you'll lose sort of that vibrance of your herbs. I added a pinch of salt in there at the end of cooking my mushrooms down. So this sauce now goes into a big bowl. And this is a great way, cooking at home, to just mix your pasta together and make it a lot cleaner and for it to come together nicely. My pasta, I don't want to strain this, I don't need to strain this. I want the pasta water to help thicken the sauce. So straight from our pot into our bowl. Like so. Getting a little steam bath here while we do it. And then give all that a good mix. You can see how much easier that is to sort of mix your pasta up in that big bowl. And you can see how that sauce has thickened around the pasta because of the starch that was in that pasta water. Now it's time just to plate this up. So a good way to do it, I think I may have shown you this before, but I'll show you again. Get yourself a ladle, pop your pasta into the ladle and then spin around with your tongs to get that sort of nice little mound that you want to get. Get rid of any extra pasta. And turn your pasta out. That will give you sort of a much neater little mound than trying to sort of grab it and transfer over like that. So there we've got our mixed mushroom pasta, or vegetarian pasta. Now, I always say that when you're doing something like this, use a wine. If you're using wine in the dish, use a wine that you know you're going to enjoy drinking with the pasta, because you're only going to use about 150 to 200 mils of wine cooking the dish. and then you can enjoy the wine when you eat the pasta. That's it for today. Join us next time on Left Off the Map.